Good morning, class. Today we are going to have a little lesson on graphing. We started that yesterday. You should have gone to Brain Pop yesterday and watched these two videos.
Tally charts and bar graphs, pictographs.
And then you should have gone to Schoology and answered the questions. If you didn't get to do that, you can do that today. Don't worry, it's fine. Let's start the lesson though, and let's talk about why graphs are important and why we use them. So first, these are the three different graphs. We've got picture graph, and I'll let you have a second to think about why it's called a picture graph. So I'm going to label them first and we'll talk about why they're each called different things. This one's called a bar graph. And this one's called a tally chart. So a picture graph is called a picture graph because it has pictures. These are little pictures. You see the moon and the hearts, the stars, and the dots. They're little pictures, okay? And the bar graph is called a bar graph because it has bars. It has those long rectangles, and if there's a longer rectangle and a shorter rectangle, well, maybe the longer one has more of that item or whatever data you're recording. And then a tally chart has these little lines, and we'll talk about those little lines later. They're called tally marks, okay? So let's move on to the next one. So like I said yesterday, you were supposed to watch the brain pops. If you didn't get to do that, go ahead and do that. All right, so we're gonna look at these three different graphs and we're going to see what we can notice. How are they the same? And how are they different? How are they the same and how are they different? Okay, so let's go ahead and figure that out. So we're going to count in order to, every time that we count an area, we're going to write the number right there so we remember it, okay? So we're going to go start with soccer. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's the important part. That line right there is 5. So when you have 5, you're going to have the fifth stick actually crosses them out, okay? So then we have 6 and 7. So soccer, we have 7 students in the class whose favorite sport is soccer. So Martin asked the students in his class which is their favorite sports, and these were the results. So 7 of the students like soccer the best. So let's count baseball. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And tennis, 1, 2, 3. And football, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. All right, let's go to the picture graph. And what I'm going to do for the picture graph is I'm going to make sure I'm writing my numbers in my pictures so that I remember. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'll write it down here so I remember. Soccer, there's 7. Baseball, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to write a 4. On tennis, 1, 2, and 3. And football, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So some of you have probably already started to see a similarity here. A pattern that you see maybe is maybe happening in common. If not, let's go ahead and also do the bar graph. So once again, so for bar graph, we are going to draw a line where it ends. So it starts at 0. It's like kind of like measuring, like using a ruler, right? So this one stops at 7. So the soccer is 7. Let me use a different color so that we don't get confused. So then we have baseball. I'm going to take a line all the way from baseball and I'm going to stop it there. Baseball looks like it stops at 4. And then tennis. Take a line from tennis, and we gotta make sure our lines are nice and straight or we might get it wrong. So then we have 3 in tennis. And then we've got football. And what's gonna happen if I kind of make my line like that? Am I gonna have the right information? Okay, probably not. We've got to make sure that line is nice and straight. So I'm going to take my line all the way from there and go to there. So football is going to be 6. Let's compare them. Soccer, we have 7 here. Okay, 7, 7, 7. Baseball, we have 4, 4, 4. Tennis, we have 3, 3, 3. Football, we have 6, 6, and 6. So what is the same is they all show the same information. So same information, but what do you think is different? I'll give you a second. And then what's different, but it is shown in different ways. So it's different pictures that show the same story, okay? But shown in different ways. Awesome. Okay? So remember how they're the same, how they're different, okay? All right, let's go to the next page, tally chart. So Martin asked the students, once again, what their favorite result is. How many students does Martin ask? Okay, so that's what our question is saying. How many students does Martin ask? So that's actually going to mean total, all right? Total. So once again, I want us to practice with the counting our tallies. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want you to make that action. Say that when you count 5. 6 and 7. So 7 for soccer. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 for baseball. 1, 2, 3 for tennis. Football. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for football. So to find the total, I'm gonna have to, I want you to think about it. And right now at your house, don't feel silly, you're gonna show me, add or subtract. And I know you can't see me, but then you can get a gauge. I'll give you like 3 seconds. Think about, how do I find the total? Am I gonna add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Okay, if you said add, great job. So we're gonna take 7. 7 plus, oh, sorry about that, guys. Plus, oh goodness, sorry guys, 1 second. 7 plus 4 plus, what is happening? My bad, guys. There we go. Plus 4 plus 3 plus 6. Okay, so all of those, all of my information, I'm adding it together, okay? Oh, I don't know, how do I get rid of that? There we go. So now let's think about a good strategy to add them. So something that I might do is I might take the ones that could make 10s, right? So I think that, do 7 and 4 make 10? Not quite, but 7 plus 3 do make 10. What else makes 10? 4 plus 6. So that is 10 plus 10 equals 20. And that was an easier way to find that answer. Making tens is always going to make it easier for you. So let's keep going. How many students choose baseball? How many more? Okay, so now we have a special word. How many more students choose baseball than tennis? So let's circle these words that I think are really important. More than. So more than, so we're going to be comparing. I'm going to write what we're doing. Comparing. And remember, I always said when we're comparing, that means we are finding the difference. Oh no. Okay, that's okay. And that also means we are subtracting. I know that was a lot, but I want us to remember those three words are very similar. Comparing, finding the difference, subtracting. So baseball and tennis. Let's go to baseball and let's count baseball. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to write a 4. Tennis, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and I like to write my numbers here so that I don't forget them. Baseball, 4, tennis, 3. So when I'm going to find the difference, I'm going to subtract. I'm going to do 4 minus 3 equals, and everybody hopefully should know this, 1, right? Another thing that's really can be a good strategy, I think, is if we make like a bar model. This is kind of like a bar model. And we take where it ends, we see that there's only one more bat right there, right? So that's the difference between the two. Okay, let's see the next question. How many fewer students, so let's do, how many fewer students choose tennis than football? So I'm going to circle those action words, fewer than. So more than, fewer than, less than, sometimes those all are comparing. Not always, but in this sentence, how many fewer students choose tennis than football? I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to compare and find the difference. First, we're going to go ahead and find our information. So for tennis, we already have it. Awesome. We did our work, so we don't have to do it again. So now tennis, I'm going to put 3 right here. And football, we haven't found it. So let's go ahead and do football. 1, oh, you can't really see that. Uh-oh, I don't know what I did here. There we go. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna write a 6. And then we'll put a 6 right here. And then we can also do remember what I did. We can make a bar model, or we don't even have to make it a bar, honestly. And we can just count how many are different. Right here we have 1, 2, 3 more. Let's check our work there. If I do 6 minus 3, I get 3. So I got the same answer here and here. Okay. Okay, so what should the first thing I always be? What should I do the first thing when I see a graph? Before I even read my problem, I should label all of them. I know I didn't quite do that here, but we still labeled almost all of them. Let's practice labeling them all first, okay? So let's count soccer. Remember, with this one, all we have to do is measure it like a ruler. So I'm gonna go from where it ends. Soccer ends at 7. Baseball ends at 4. Remember, I can't go like that. I have to go straight. Tennis ends at 3, and football ends at 6. Very important, okay? How many students choose soccer and football? Okay, and I want you to think about it for a second. Do you think it's going to be adding or subtracting? Let me be right back. Think about it. Okay, if you said adding, great job. So we are going to put them together, soccer and football. Okay, so let's do soccer. And remember, I really like to write my numbers, and football. And then I'm going to do 7 plus 6 equals, and what is it going to equal? I'm just going to tell you what it equals. Well, actually, we can do our strategy of making a 10. Why not? So if we take away 3, and then we have 3 left, we have 10 plus 3, and we get 13. Right? Okay. Great job. What is the total number of students represented on the graph? Total. What is the total number of students represented on the graph? On the whole graph. Okay, think about what I should do for a second. Okay, if you said add all of them together, great job. We are going to take all of them and add them together. So we should be doing 7 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6. Okay, so same thing we did earlier. I think it's great if we make our 10s 10, 10. And then we get an easier number for 20. Okay, let's keep going. There are 3 more. So now we're going to do true and false. Okay, so true means that's correct. False means that's not right. Okay, there are 3 more students that choose football than tennis. There are 3 more students that choose football than tennis. So this is saying there are more football than tennis, and let's see if they're right that it's 3 more. So if I label my graph again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Remember when you picture graph, I think it's pretty good to just write the number inside because that helps you remember and maybe you didn't skip, because if you don't write the number, you might go 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that wouldn't be the right answer. There are 3 more football than tennis. So are there more football? Does it look like there are more football? Yes, there are more. So there are more, but are there 3 more? Well, let's see. I can just count these. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 more. Or I can also do 6 minus 3 equals 3. So this is true. Next, there are fewer students, fewer students that choose soccer than baseball and, that's important, and tennis combined. So that means I really need to think about this. there are fewer students that choose soccer. So we have to figure out fewer students that pick soccer. So that means soccer is going to be smaller amount than baseball and tennis. So first, when you look at it, it looks like soccer has the most. And you're going, oh no, soccer doesn't have fewer. But if you do that, you're not reading the whole problem. Baseball and tennis combined. So we need to take baseball and tennis and put them together. Remember, I really like to write my numbers under here. So baseball, tennis, and combined means we're going to put them together. What does 3 plus 4 equal? It equals 7. So if we were to get 7, and this is baseball and tennis, and soccer is 7, if they're both 7, does that mean that soccer is less? It's fewer? No, that's going to be false because baseball and tennis together is the same as soccer. So we're going to put a big false. All right, let's see. Okay, so that was our mini lesson for today. Sorry if it was a little long for you, but if you needed to go back and watch it, you can go back and watch it. I hope that this helped. If you have any questions, you can let me know. Stay tuned for, I'm gonna have just a little assignment for you after this video. Go check on Schoology, and there will be a little assignment there to see how much you remembered what we did today. The biggest thing that we were focusing on is how to compare a graph. Yesterday, I just wanted you to learn how to read a graph. Today, I wanted to make sure that you knew how to compare the information, how to see the difference between that information. All right, guys, I miss you. I hope you're doing great. And yeah, just let me know if you have questions. Bye.